Hello, students. Now, today, uh, after 4 lectures of first of all, Carl Pearson's method, and then after we have done one small sum by scatter diagram method. And the important thing is, one sum we have done with different formulas and different method. And I have proved that any sum you can do by any formula or method, answer will be same. And that sum is made by me. But now today, what we are going to do? Now today's lecture is for actually Carl Pearson's 3 formula are there. Which formula you are using in which situation, so that calculation becomes easy, that we are going to learn today in this lecture. Because you can use any formula, but there is 3 formulas are given. Some reasons are there why 3 formulas are given: to make sum easy. There are many types of sum, and from that, which sum can be done by which formula, so that sum becomes easy, that we need to understand in this lecture. And for that, I have taken here one sum which is given in your textbook, exercise 2.2, sum number 11. Now that sum is given in your textbook. Here only one change is done by me, that is here 1.8 is given in your textbook, and I have taken here 1.5. That's it, nothing else. Other question remain same. In your textbook, there is information given, and that information I have assumed here x and y. Even you have to also assume whenever you are doing the sum. So first information consider as x, second information is considered as y, because it is an assumption. And then after I have solved this sum. Only one changes is there. Here 1.8 is written in your textbook. I have written here 1.5. Otherwise, other values remain same. There is no change about it. Now, why I have taken this sum? To explain you about when 3 formulas can be used. Now, I am giving you some rules. Now, that is not a rule of textbook, because actually you can use any formula. But if you are following these rules, and whenever you are doing sum, then that sum becomes easy to calculate for you. And that's why we have to understand these rules. Now, we are talking about the rules. First of all, when first formula is used. So, if you are finding x bar and y, and it is natural number, its value is natural number, then you can use first formula. So why? X bar and y bar natural number, then we can use first formula. How? So think, in x bar and y bar, sigma x minus x bar, sigma x minus x bar, y minus y bar, in that formula, what actually we need? From all the values of x, we are deducting x bar. From all the values of y, we are deducting y bar. That is our real situation. So think, suppose it is in fraction. Answer is 25.75. And if we are deducting 25.75 from all the values of x, then we are getting fraction values. And that calculation becomes hard for us. Why? Because multiplication of fraction values is in fraction, calculation becomes hard. And if it's a natural number, then calculation becomes easy. And that's why first formula is used, x minus x bar formula is used when x bar and y bar value is in natural numbers. So first rule, clear. Second thing, when second formula is used, in which situation we are using second formula? So in second formula, think sigma x y, sigma x, sigma y, that is required, and that's why sigma x y, you need to find x into y, you need to find x square, you need to find y square. So whenever values of x and y, whenever values of x and y are very small values, of which you can do square of that easily, you can multiply both values easily. If that small values are given in x and y, at that time you can use second formula, because its square is easy, its multiplication is easy. Now how much small? Sir, generally everybody know table up to 20. So if you know tables up to 20, then 20 or less amounts are given for x and y, then you can use second formula. Because if you are making square of that, suppose 2 square, you know 4, 20 square, you know 20 square 400, 11 square 121. So that you can remember easily. You don't need calculator for that. So whenever small values of x and y is given, at that time you can use a second formula. Now sir, when third formula is used, whenever values of x is very large and we want to convert it into small values so that calculation becomes easy, then use UV formula. N sigma UV minus sigma U sigma V, that formula we are using when we need to convert large values into the small values. Second thing, if fractions details are given, here I have taken that type of sum which includes both the situations. Large values are also given in y and fraction values are also given in x. We need to convert this fraction value into the perfect natural values or normal values, and large values converted into the small values, and this both the conditions are satisfied in this sum. That's why I have taken here this sum, so that you can easily understand why we are using third formula. Here you can use second formula. X and y multiplication you can do. You can find x square, y square. But think, or that is my homework. Try this sum with the second formula and same sum do with the third formula also. You will realize third formula is easy in compared to the second formula. Why? Because in third formula we are making big values, converting big values into the small values, and fraction values into the non-fraction values, natural values, and that's why calculation becomes easy. Sometimes for all these students I am giving instruction, if you cannot remember three formulas, just remember third formula. Do all the sums with the help of third formula. Your answer will be right. You don't need to think it which formula we are using. But this is only for whom? Who want 100% marks, so that they can do easily. Otherwise, remember only one formula, third formula. Do all the sums with third formula. Your 5 marks fix. Now we are starting with the sum. Here sum is for third formula. Why? Fraction values are given. Somewhat big values are given, whose square is not possible without calculator, or somewhat hard calculations are there, and that's why we are using third formula. So first formula is used when x bar and y bar not in fraction. Natural number is there. X bar and y bar value both. If any one of them is in fraction and 1 is a natural number, then also we cannot use x minus x bar formula. We can use, but it becomes somewhat hard calculated. That's why. Now see here, this 2 is given to you in your textbook. I said to you only changes is 1.5 instead of 1.8. Otherwise all the values remain same. So here x 1.5, 2.1, 0.9, 1.5, 1.1, 1.2. That is given to you. Total of that sigma x 8.6. Same way values of y given 60, 95, 50, 75, 45, 75. Total is 400 sigma y. Total of y is sigma y. Now these two values are given. We need to convert it into small values and normal values. And for that we are finding u and v. Now on the basis of x we can find u, and on the basis of y we can find v. So whenever we want to convert large values into small value, then what we are doing? Deducting and dividing. Same thing we are doing here. Now from this values of x minus a, assume value, somewhat assume value we are deducting from x. Now here I have assumed here 1.2 only. So I am writing here, instead of a, assume value is 1.2. You can assume 1.1, you can assume 1.5, you can assume 0.9, whatever you want to assume, you can. But here what I have assumed only 1.2. So 1.2 is my assumed value. Now cx. Here we are deducting from x. That's why divisible by cx is written. It is not a class length. It's a, this cx is what? This cx is a common factor with which we are dividing all the values of x. That is the common factor of x. You can divide by any value, but here after point only one, after the point only one digits are given. So we are dividing this by 0.1. Same way, after the points, if two digits are given, then we are dividing it by 0.01. If after point 3 digits are given, then we are dividing with 0.001. In this way, we are deciding by which value we are dividing. Here second method also available. Sir, I want to multiply with 10. Here if we are multiplying with 10, even point cancel. But I don't want to do that thing, because this is very important point for 1 marker question also, that we learn later. So here what I am doing, dividing with 0.1. So that's okay. Now talking about the 1.2 minus, so from all the values of x minus 1.2 divided by 0.1. So 1.5 minus 1.2, answer is 0.3, and 0.3 upon 0.1, answer is 3. Same way for second value, 2.1 minus 1.2 divided by 0.1. So 2.1 minus 1.2, answer is 0.9. 0.9 divided by 0.1, answer is 9. 0.9 minus 1.2, divide by 0.1. 1.5 minus 1.2 divide by 0.1 minus 1.2 divide by 0.1. In this way we are finding all the values and getting 3, 9 minus 3, 3 minus 1 and 0. And that is the values of u. So total of this sigma u is equal to 11. Now this is only for explanation. This is written only for explanation. In the exam you don't need to write it. So I am making it original values. So all the values. For all the values we have find u. Now I am giving you simplest calculation also. It's a legal method. This is the legal method what we have done. Now illegal method by which we are doing this sum very easily. So first of all thing, here points are not given. Just think, there are points, but think here points are not given, and we have assumed 12 as a assumed value. So deduct 12 from all the values. Deduct 12 from all the values. So 15 minus 12. Answer is 3. 21 minus 12. Answer 9. 9 minus 12. So minus 3. 15 minus 12. 3. 11 minus 12. Minus 1. 12 minus 12. 0. So calculation becomes easy. You have to write here minus 1.2 divided by 0.1. But whenever you are calculating, then think directly in this way. Then after clear? So second calculation for V. Second calculation for V. By using values of y, we can find value of v. So again we are assuming some value. Here I have assumed 50. You can take 75, you can take 45, any value you can assume. Even values which are not given here, that value you need to assume, then assume it. No problem about it. So 60 minus assume value 50. Here assume value we are considering as a 50. Now divide by what? So this all the values we can see here. This all the values can be divisible by 5 because last digit is 0 or 5. 0, 5, 5, 5. So that we can understand easily. This all the values are divisible by 5, and that's why we are dividing it by 5. So minus 50 divided by 5. So from all the values of y, we are deducting 50 and divide by 5. So 60 minus 50, 10. 10 divided by 2, 5 2s are 10. Answer is 2. Same way here. Minus 50 divided by 5. 95 minus 50, 45. 45 upon 5, 9. 50 minus 50 becomes 0. 75 minus 50 divided by 5. 75 minus 50, 25. 25 divided by 5, 5 is 25. Answer is 5. 45 minus 50 divided by 5. 45 minus 50 minus 5. Minus 5 upon minus 5. Minus 5 upon 5. Minus 1. 75 minus 50 upon 5. 75 minus 50. 25. 25 upon 5. 5. In this way we are finding values of v. Now again I am clearing the calculation because you don't need to write here. This is only for your explanation. Now sum becomes very easy for me because we have two values, u and v. Both the values are available. Now see, actually x is given in fraction. Original value is not in fraction. After making it calculation, it's calculation. Now same way, y is very large value. Here y becomes small values. And that's why now calculation becomes a easy calculation. uv. So multiply u into v. uv. So multiplication of these two, 3 2s are 6, 9 9s are 81. Multiply with 0, answer 0. 3 5s are 15. Minus 1 plus 1, 0 into 5, 0. Simple. Now make the total of this, 103. If there is any mistake in calculation, don't worry about it. See the method, calculate yourself, make it clear. Important thing is what? How we have to solve the sum. Calculation mistake may be there. Don't think about it. See the method, how sum is going on. Focus on that situation only. I have tried, there should not be any calculation mistakes, but if there is the mistakes, then don't worry about it. Method is same. Now, u square. So make the square of all values of u. So 3 square 9, 9 square 81, 3 square 9, 3 square 9, 1 square 1, 0 square 0. Simple. Same v square. So make the square of this v. 2 square 4, 9 square 81, 0 square 0, 5 square 25, 1 square 1, 5 square 25. Total of v square. So we have all the values of sum. Sigma u, sigma v, sigma uv, sigma u square, sigma v square. We have all the values available. Now just put it into the formula and calculate yourself. You can do it yourself. And I told you in last lecture also, from the next lecture I am calculating it up to this only. Then after calculation will be done by you. But even today also I am explaining whole thing. Just try to understand. And number of observation 1 2 3 4 5 6. So number of observation are 6. Sigma uv. So sigma uv here 103 103. Minus, then minus. Sigma u, sigma v. So sigma u sir 11, sigma v is equal to 20, sigma u 11, sigma v 20. Divide by under root 6 n is equal to 6. Sigma u square sir, here sigma u square 109, so 109 is written. Minus, then minus. Sigma u whole square, sigma u 11, 11 whole square. Second under root n 6, sigma v square, so sigma v square here 136 is given to you. So 6 into 136 minus sigma v whole square, 20 whole square, 20 given, 20 whole square. Now, after that calculation 6 into 103, 618 minus as it is 11 into 20, 220, divide by multiply this 2. Write the answer, minus as it is 11 square, root sign as it is. Same way here calculation. Now deduction of both. Now from here you can calculate sum by two ways. After this you can calculate this by two ways. First method, what you can do, numerator same, find root of 533 and write it. Then after find root of 416, then write it. Multiplication of both, and that multiplication must be 470.88. This is the first method. Now second method, what Kamal sir has done. First of all, I make multiplication of two values, 533 into 416, and its answer is this, and it is in root. Then after I have find root of this value. It is 470.88. Now division of this 0.8452. Approximately we can convert it 0.85. That's it. So this is the answer for question number 11. Now today is the last day of this type of sums and Karl Pearson method. This is the last lecture. Then after, from book you can solve all the sums which is of 5 marks given in your textbook. Thank you very much. We are coming with the new topic in next lecture, Spearman method. Thank you very much.